Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Reading Room. I am Mark Reed, and welcome back. If you've been here before, you're going to know that Friday is one of my favorite days. It's one of my favorite days because it is Fundamentalist Fails. On my Friday, your experience may differ. It is Friday for me. It's fantastic. Just gotten up. It's a wonderful day, and I get to dunk. Yes, dunk on some fundamentalist out there with absolute absurd views. But welcome everybody. So today I found this guy, and well, I mean, it's not like I found him today, but I wanted to do him today because he just sort of is weird. He's very strange. He's a very strange person. Now, his name is Spencer Smith. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's not huge, but he's not small either. I think he had about 200 and something thousand followers. And like the stuff that he does, I feel like he's trying to channel Alex Jones. I really do feel like he's trying to channel Alex Jones in his thing. And a couple of his videos, they kind of really did appeal to me because they're from a couple of weeks ago, but they were kind of like on IT sort of either IT stuff or IT adjacent stuff. And I found them funny. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. We'll see. But I found it very, very, very hilarious. So I'm gonna jump right into it. And he's gonna be sharing his. You know what? I'm gonna turn off that. I'm sorry, chat. I just want him to be up in front. So this is Spencer Smith. I'm sorry, missionary Spencer Smith from Doctrine Matters. Is a very strange person, quite frankly. But you know, we'll see how it goes. I hope you're doing well. I really do. And do hit like and subscribe. It helps me out a great deal. It makes me feel, you know, very, very happy on a Friday. But let's see. Oh, and welcome to the Ember raid. You know, preemptive attack on my channel. I'll take it. Thank you so much. And let's get into a Christian talking about computer stuff.
Well, I woke up this morning and chunks of the internet did not work. It was very, I don't know, maybe it was a good thing. I don't know. But I got on there and noticed that. And then I realized that this was a Cloudflare outage. And this.
Oh, you just realized that, did you? Or did you look it up? Did you look it up? I bet you looked it up that it was Cloudflare. Yes. So what's Cloudflare? So Cloudflare is essentially what we call domain services, right? So, you know, if they put up a website, if they register that website, if they do all of that, it's generally a domain services is what it is. So whenever you're hosting a website, when you're saying, hey, can you sort of broadcast this around the internet for me, if you're doing, they do other stuff like adjacent stuff like security and things like that. Yes, no, that is two swords in his corner, because apparently Jesus came with a sword, and so did he, apparently. But yeah, it's you know, basically Cloudflare just do website services, if you want to think about it. We call it domains in the industry.
This is like the third time this year has happened. And so something is going on with the internet, and I want to talk to you about it today.
For some reason, he always cuts himself off. I don't know why that is. It's actually hilarious. Is the internet Doctrine Matters? Is there something in the doctrine about the internet that I'm unaware of? I don't like. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's very strange, right? Like, you know, I probably know so much more about technical support than this guy. I rarely talk about it, right? Like, that's not what my channel. Like, I don't. Okay.
All right, guys, thank you very much for watching today. We got a new book out. I want to just point this out to you. It's called this Mr. Gizmo Sermon Notebook, and we've got this for kids. And basically, like, you can get one of these and take it to church, and your kid will have like a little act.
Yeah, so this is a children's book. My favorite songs today, sermon title, like I'm thankful for a prayer requested. I I what is this for? So this is for kids so they can document all of their holiness sort of down in a little notebook. It's kind of is this something that they do? Like, and do the parents read it? Like, if the prayer request is for a bike, can they go, like, you shouldn't be asking for material things. You should be asking for, food for people. Like, what, is that just, okay. My church checklist. I sang from the hymn book. I opened my Bible. I'm just reading out what it has. Hang on a second. I should be able to full screen it for you. Hang on a sec. That's not really full screen thing. That's. Hang on. Can you full screen? No. Full screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I sang from the hymn book. Right. I opened my Bible. I sat still quietly and listened. I closed my eyes for prayer, shook my pastor's hand, and presumably he's cut it off there, but I presume he says thank you for the sermon. Dang. If they're not absolutely absolutely, how do I now get out of full screen? I don't know. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. It's training children to be good little Christians, right? Like good little Christians. Wow. Yeah. Draw a picture and write about today's sermon. Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
activity that they can take notes on the preaching and all kinds of stuff like that. It's a really colorful book, and we
it's
this
the
is
same
a blessing.
page.
I think that a lot of families will really enjoy this. That's our new.
Oh, okay. So it's a children's book where he gets to do one page and copies it throughout the entire book. Ugh. Okay. I hope he doesn't charge a lot for it, because that is ridiculous. Can we get a price check? Price check on R5? Price check on R5. What was it? What was his thinker? It was Doctrine Matters. Doctrine Matters. It's a children's prayer book. Oh, I've spelt doctrine wrong. Hold it. I don't know. Doctrine Maz. I want to track this down, because if this is any more than like $5, it's just horrible. Shop, Etsy store, absolutely. Let's do it. Doctrine Matters. Lizard People patch, $39.49. Really? That's a lot for a patch. Okay. Is there any other products? All items. That's his entire items. Okay, maybe he's not selling the book anymore. I don't know. It's not important. I feel like it's going to be really expensive for the same page just photocopied over and over and over and over kind of thing, Maybe I'm wrong.
Book for this week, so check that out. Available on Amazon. Link in the description below. Get a copy of that and subscribe to this channel if you are new. We talk about contemporary theological issues and things of that nature, and we know this channel will be a blessing to you. And also smite your like button, or the lizard people will get you. That's a fact. So
yeah, so I think he's just joking about the lizard people, but it's hard to tell. Like, Poe's law is definitely strong with this one.
I got up this morning and Twitter didn't work. Twitter's been exciting for me lately, and what a mess.
Yeah, it's not actually Twitter anymore, but, Cloudflare outage go live updates. Huge chunk of internet goes down. Yeah, Cloudflare's been having some problems lately. Sure, occasionally. It happens. So usually what these companies have is something called an SLA, or service level agreement. That basically what will happen is they'll make an agreement that they'll have some kind of percentage uptime. Like, for instance, there'll be like 50% SLA, which isn't really a lot. It's tiny like that. Or, if it's personal, like your internet connection will probably be a best effort service. Like, they will not promise it will be up all the time. I believe so, Ember. Yes, I believe so that Alex Jones. That's why I'm saying he's channeling Alex Jones hard, which I don't know why you'd pursue down the Alex Jones track, because look where he's ended up. Like, Alex Jones really has, been sued into the ground, basically.
Yes, what a mess. It's been a public discourse has been very interesting lately on Twitter. Let's just
Yeah, so Twitter has not been a blessing, apparently. So I hope this is a blessing, that's a blessing. It's not been a blessing. These people, they talk really strangely to me. I don't know why. I just don't, it's really weird. It's just weird.
put it that way. And I've noticed that Twitter went down. I'm still calling it Twitter. I am so sorry. I am such a boomer, and please forgive me. It's Twix now. It's X.
It's Twix. Isn't that a candy bar? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Twitter is a cesspit. I've never been on it. I don't know. I don't usually do social media, so I don't really care. I don't go on Instagram. I don't go on X. I don't really go out there and sort of social media. I did have a Facebook account. Haven't seen it in ages. I don't do it. It really does. It's not my thing. It really isn't. But that's okay. That's okay.
And it didn't work. But here's something that this is Jeffrey Grider said this. He said Cloudflare is under attack. Widespread 500 errors. Cloudflare dashboard and API also failing.
Okay, so widespread 500 errors. So, yeah, he's got to get down and gravelly and Cloudflare is under attack. That's what. Like, I don't know how Alex Jones does it, because it hurts my voice just doing it for 2 seconds. Hey, like I don't know how he does it. But here's the thing: 500 errors. Okay, so everyone's probably familiar with the 404, right? With 404 is website not found or server not found. Basically, that's a 404 error. 500 errors are just the server or the website is not responding. That's all it is. Okay, 500 error. That server isn't responding. Right, which can be a lot of reasons. It could be that they've had an attack like this is suggesting. And this is Jeffrey. Obviously, Jeffrey's an expert because he posted on it, right? Happening right now. Cloudflare under attack. Widespread 500 errors. What's going to happen? That just means server is not responding. Yeah, but Theo, it might be good, mate. It might be good, but like seriously, I can't keep that up, man. Like, I'm not even joking. That hurt my throat doing for like 2 seconds. It must be all the penis enlargement pills that Alex Jones takes, in my opinion. That he takes that does it. Okay, just saying. But 500 just means you contacted the server. Server is not responding. So it got to the server and the server just isn't, nothing's happening. Now that could mean, yeah, there's some sort of attack on the server that has taken its connectivity down. Sure. It could also mean that the server just isn't, like, there is an internal problem, like it's locked up or frozen, or it's crashed in some way. I mean, hell, it could mean that the server room caught fire, right? Now, if you think that's a joke, I worked at a company where the main server room caught fire. Okay, like, I'm not even joking. It is a thing that can happen, and I know. And like, I gotta say, the CEO for having his server room catch fire was pretty chill about it. He wasn't concerned that much, which was hilarious. So what was happening in this one? So Cloudflare dashboard and API. So API is just a connectivity protocol that allows people to implement scripts and codes into it. Like, all that means is just, hey, the server's not responding. That doesn't say it's an attack, right? They're investigating an issue. Oh, it's under attack. No, it doesn't mean that it's under attack. No, stop.
Happening right now. This is the third time this has happened in as many months, and he's exactly right. There's been articles all over the internet about how Cloudflare.
I love how he can't even say Cloudflare. It's Cloudflare, not Cloudflare. I feel like he's never said this before.
Is going down. Now, I had to look up what Cloudflare was. I'm not an IT guy, and I don't really.
No. You're lying.
Understand all this stuff as well as people who do this professionally. I know a little bit, but I don't understand as well. But from what I understand, like, okay, you have your website, you have the internet, and Cloudflare.
You have your website and you have the internet. Yeah, that isn't really how it works. That isn't, like, the internet is made up of service providers and websites in general, right? So these domain services people, they hold big chunks of computers, servers, essentially, are just basically computer host systems. They will maintain your records, your information on their systems, and allow people to find it. But, like, there's big chunks of the internet is like, your ISP, like, what's an American one? Bell or whatever. Is it Bell? AT&T, right? They'll have a big chunk of servers, switches, which are sort of routing, that they make sure everything's going to where it has to go, routers, and basically consumer host systems, including businesses within their block of the internet. So it's not as simple as that. It's not just the internet and then there's Cloudflare. Cloudflare has a big block of servers, all with their own addresses, right? So they've basically got a whole bunch of real estate, if you're thinking physically instead of logically, right? So usually in internet terms, we think logically, like a logic of addresses and how things are being moved around. But if you think about it as if it was a physical thing, imagine that Cloudflare is a sort of country kind of. It has a block of real estate that it basically offers people to lease out places in it in order for them to run businesses out of and things like that. So it's not like you've got Cloudflare, then the internet. They're part of the internet, which is made up of all of these blocks of systems that certain companies have control over. It kind of reminds me of an IT crowd thing where they brought out a box and said, this is the internet, and it's like this one box kind of thing. And it's like, somebody that does not understand what the internet is would absolutely believe that. But, it's ridiculous.
Is like this shield that is between the internet and your websites, and it keeps it from being hacked. It keeps it from, malware and stuff.
No, that is not what it is. They do provide security services. They absolutely provide security services. So we usually refer to them as firewalls. Essentially, security in order to make sure no incoming traffic is basically, hacking or any kind of thing. And they maintain security on their own servers. So if you do use one of their services to host your site, right? Like your site is actually on their servers. They will protect it under their security umbrella instead of, say, I've set up servers on my systems, right? Like, so I've got a couple of systems here. I've set up servers on them. I do basic security, but unlike a public system, mine won't be out on the internet. Mine isn't advertised anywhere. You'd have to know my address to get there. I've provided it to a few friends of mine upon occasion when I'm gaming and I want to host something. But, so I don't need that high level of security. But if I did, I might route it through some, or have them do security on it to filter traffic, get rid of known IP addresses that are problematic. They do all that kind of security stuff. But, I don't, it's just these companies like Cloudflare, they're just providing one-stop solutions to businesses and things. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Now, Cloudflare has become really, really big, and that can be a problem, because if something screws up, like, as you said, a large chunk of the internet went down. Well, it was just Cloudflare, and they host a lot of stuff, so that's what went down.
Like that. So it apparently is a very essential tool, and if it goes down...
No, it's not. It's not essential. Absolutely not. It's just that they've grown big. It's like, if I think the other month Microsoft rolled out an update which kind of broke everything, right? They just rolled something out that they didn't update that kind of broke everything, and this is the thing. It's just that will happen. Like, yes, you would expect to run a update in a test environment, but sometimes you don't know something's going to break until it breaks, and that's just the reality of it.
Your website goes down, and so what? If you want to get to these websites, you got to take down Cloudflare. Well, that's what happened.
Not really. Not really. Look, there's a number of ways to take down a website. For instance, there's sort of the ones that people usually talk about is denial of service, where you basically flood a system with some sort of traffic or some kind of, there used to be a ping of death where it would request a response and automatically ping back. It would create an infinite loop. That we've sort of solved that one. But anyway, you're basically flooding with traffic until they can no longer get any information in or out. This is what stuff like Cloudflare protects against. And so, if too much traffic comes from one source, they will cut it, basically. And then you have distributed denial of service, which gets around that. So it's, they have means to stop this. It's just, it's not essential. It's just there's other security and hosting platforms out there. Give me 1 second. Of main domain companies. So Unilever, GoDaddy, etc. Oh, they're registrars, hosting companies, maybe. Yeah, Amazon Web Services, GoDaddy, Bluehost, HostGator, DreamHost. There's a ton of them, right? So, Wix that offers web hosting. There's a ton of them. Okay, it's not like, oh well, Cloudflare is essential. If it goes down, everything's lost. No, it's not. No, these companies. So we in IT we have something called redundancy. Right, we have redundancy, and that is built into every single network. If something goes down, yeah, it might be down for a bit, but there will be redundancy. We will basically transfer them to other servers, transfer them to something that isn't being under attack or isn't not working, and they'll go back up again. It's not that hard. It isn't. It's just, sometimes it takes a few hours to sort out. It happens. Like, that is the nature of technical support. Things do break. I'm really sorry. It happens. And it's very frustrating. And I get why it's very frustrating. But, it's kind of like that is just a problem that happens. It's why we have redundant systems. Look, it's the same as like, you have airlines. And you're like, well, I hope we never have an accident. Sure. But we have like ground crews and firefighters and everything on standby for a reason. It's because we want that redundancy. We want to be able to do something if it does happen, right? So with all things technical, we always prepare for the worst, and that's exactly what Cloudflare does.
And this website here, this is from tomsguide.com. Cloudflare outage live updates, huge chunk of internet goes down. Cloudflare is currently experiencing.
I wish you'd stop calling it Cloudflare, because seriously, it is like, can the man even read? Can you read? I mean, apparently he wrote a children's book. I don't know. He wrote a children's prayer book or whatever. But mind you, it does seem to be the same page copied throughout the book. So, yeah.
Experiencing a global network outage. Here's the latest updates. Cloudflare, the global cloud network operating multiple websites on the internet, is currently down now. It's affecting multiple platforms, including social media site, ChatGPT, and more. Twitter, ChatGPT. Currently, most platforms are struggling to be accessed, similar to the recent AWS outage that saw multiple websites go down. This outage is now causing problems with multiple sites across the internet. According to Cloudflare, it is investigating an issue which impacts multiple customers, widespread 500 errors, Cloudflare dashboard, and API also failing. So if you're seeing errors while opening websites, you're not alone. Here are all the latest updates. And apparently, as of 10:22, this video is being recorded at 10:24. Some issues are still out there, and
Max on to explain how to hack flurfs without even using code. Are you talking about like mind hacking them? Because that's not difficult, Victoria. That is not difficult to mind hack flurfs without even using a keyboard. Interesting. Do you just like tell them that you know the lizard people will get them if they don't give you their password or something? Like this is the thing. None of that is unusual. None of that is and I don't get what I don't get is what this has to do with Christianity and his doctrine. Right? This is Doctrine Matters. So but we can do a quick check. If you guys pray for it, shouldn't it just recover? Doesn't the Bible say if two or more people pray for something, it should recover, or you should get it? Shouldn't you just be able to pray over the internet and won't it repair? I forgot what Bible verse that is. Give me 1 second. Matthew 18:19. Again, I say to you, if two of you agree on earth about anything they ask, it will be done for them by Father in heaven. Okay. Why don't you guys pray for the internet to come back? Screw this technical stuff. Like, just pray for the internet to come back. Cloudflare. Please, Lord of God, save my Cloudflare. Because apparently it's Cloudflare, according to this guy. Cloudflare.
And so yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It started this morning, and here's CNBC. Cloudflare says outage that hit X, ChatGPT, and other sites is resolved.
Yeah,
and it hit by an outage and knocked several major websites and services offline for several hours. E-commerce platforms Shopify, X, ChatGPT were among the sites impacted by Cloudflare issues. It is a Cloudflare spokesman said the company observed a spike in unusual traffic to one of its services before the errors. That seems to me, guys, like they got hacked.
Oh, you're in your expert opinion, and there it is. There it is, right? They got hacked. They got hacked. Okay. Okay. So a spike in unusual traffic may indeed be malicious incoming traffic. Yes. It may not be. It may be that, hey, for instance, if you get an infinite loop, right? Like, so if one of your routing systems is pointing at one and the other's pointing at the other, and maybe there's a redundancy going through a third, it's a spike in unusual traffic. Like, you're getting a loop going. Some of these loops can cause outages if the system does not know how to deal with them properly. So a spike in unusual traffic does not mean hacking, right? It just means that there is an unexpected buildup of traffic in the system, and it can be for many, many, many reasons. It doesn't automatically mean hacking. But, you know, he's obviously a Christian IT expert, so he's going to tell you that it's hacking.
Like it was a coordinated attack on this.
Oh!
And what that seems to indicate to me is that it's possible that there are people out there who are trying to take down the internet. And if they take down the internet, your life is going to be altered for significantly.
Oh, are you afraid yet? Take down the internet. They're going to take down the internet. Okay, for a start, this is the 18th of November. You can see it sort of on there, November 18th, this Cloudflare error. So it was very easy to find this, okay? Like, so if you're like, wow, Mark Reed does his research, he's so thorough. Like, this took me 2 seconds, guys. Like, seriously, don't think I searched for this in any meaningful way or anything. Cloudflare outage on November 18th, UTC. The issue was not caused directly or indirectly by a cyber attack or malicious activity of any kind. Yeah. And he's even got the link to its status page there. Like, he could have looked this up. He's literally... Look, hang on a second. Hang on. He literally has a link in an update to it. He literally has a link to it right there. Like, he could have looked this up at any time. At any time. Okay, it was triggered by a change to one of our database's system permissions, which caused the database to output multiple entries into a feature file used by our bot management system. That feature file in turn doubled in size. The larger than expected feature file was then propagated to all the machines that make up our network. So the unusual traffic was a larger than expected feature file. So it was a file that was updated, became bloated because of something that the bots did while updating, and then was pushed out to everything, right? So this apparently, I think I'm reading the security basically caused that large file to be clamped down on, thinking it was some kind of malicious file. It's not a cyber attack. Yes, somebody attacked the company. The phone call is coming from within the house. Like, seriously, this is stuff that happens. This is stuff that happens, including to large companies like Cloudflare. It happens, right? Like, that is something that happens. So this was not an attack, right? This wasn't attack. After we initially... Hang on a second. You might need to see this. Sorry, people. I can make this bigger. After we initially wrongly suspected the systems we were seeing was caused by a hyperscale DDoS attack, we correctly identified the core issue and were able to stop the propagation of larger than expected feature file and replace it with an earlier version of the file. So that is called a rollback. You basically go back to a previous version, one that you knew that was working. And this is what they do. So much of internet traffic is automated. The techs will go, what the hell is happening? They literally won't know what's happening at first. But, you know, Christian tech support officer here, even after it's finished and he could have looked up what it was, tells his audience, oh, it was a cyber attack. It was a cyber attack. What, by the lizard people? This was not a cyber attack.
And I was thinking, it's amazing how dependent on these gadgets we are and how dependent we are on the internet. And if it goes down, I mean, we're going to have a hard time for a little bit. Internet infrastructure, Cloudflare was hit.
Okay. So please stop saying, like, the idea of the internet going down is kind of, I mean, it is a bit ridiculous. Okay, just be aware of that. It's a bit ridiculous. So the internet is not centralized, not to any great degree. Okay, so what it means is it's spread out. It's like a modular system. I wanted to show you sort of a really good visualization of the internet. So let me share this with you, okay, just to alleviate any fears that might be out there. So I started at 1970. This is what the world looked like as far as telecommunications in the 1970s. You've got like the all red line. That was to connect like the Western and NATO countries to be able to communicate with one another. That's a normal like telegraph phone system. As we get longer and longer, these are just telephone systems. It's only about until the 80s where the internet starts to go. And these are just telephone lines, right? Like the Australian-Canadian telephone line going up here. You've got like multiple Pacific lines, Atlantic lines going over there. You've got the UK-Australia phone line. And that's basically how the internet was. It was conducted over phone lines. 87, 88, 89, 90s. And then 90s, we're seeing a massive increase in the amount of phone lines going down. You have Japan finally being connected. It starts to build up. Right. Now, I think that fiber optic is coming soon. Right. China, US, Pacific Crossing, cable network. Right. So around the 2000s, you're starting to get actual cabling going down. Right, so these cabling, and look at the amount of cabling across the Atlantic. It starts to really boom. China to America starts to really boom, but then you sort of get into the 2000s, and this is the time where fiber optics really starts going down, right? And these are large fiber optic networks kind of thing, like, you know, networks throughout an entire city that are basically laid down. 14, 15, 16, 2000. Now, this is just 2020, right? And still more systems are going in. We're getting cabling to islands in the Pacific. We're getting cabling to islands out there. More cables are being laid down. We now have like over half a dozen across the Pacific to China. We now have probably a dozen from America to Europe. And that's where we currently are. Right, so what you've got to remember about the internet is if any of these systems go down, the system will reroute around it. Like back in, I think it was about 2008. I know that this system, which was a Southern Cross cable network, this one, went down. Right? Like it absolutely evaporated. So there was no decent path to get from Australia, where I am, over to the US. Like it was absolutely cut. Right? This went down completely. What happened was all the traffic was routed through the Australia-Japan cable and up through the Pacific cable. Right? So it basically went through there and across there. And it slowed down. It slowed down a great deal. But what it does, what the internet does better than anything, is it reroutes around any problem whatsoever. Or at least it tries to. So it tries to reroute around it. It'll find an alternate path because that's how it's set up. Even if it has to go the other way across the world, it will try to reroute around it and find the easiest path, or at least the easiest setup path around any kind of problem. In fact, it's kind of weird because, like, for instance, if you try to prevent the internet from connecting to something, it will consider it an error and try to reroute around whatever security block you've put up, because that's how it works. So this is sort of what happens if something goes down. So the whole idea of the internet going down is kind of nonsensical. It doesn't really make a lot of sense because you can't really take the internet down. You can take chunks of it down, but the whole thing, it doesn't really work like that. The only way you could... There was an instance when the most DNS servers were taken down. So without getting too technical, DNS allows us to change google.com into an actual address that can be used. And that happened, I think it was back in the 2000s somewhere. I think it was... Oh, was it 2016? Basically, they took like 8 of the name servers in the world down, but no, it was earlier than that. But we now have redundancies and backups for all of them. Like it really is a case that you can't just take the internet down because it is too distributed. You can't attack everywhere all at once. There is no possible way to take it down. It's impossible. You could take various websites down. You could take various networks down. You cannot take the internet down. It's impossible. How do you get the system to recognize new pathway? Okay. Good question. So if you put a new pathway down, you will basically update all of the routing systems, so all of the switches, all of the routers, with new addressing. So all of these, like, say, for instance, you've got a point on Australia. It's got basically an address assigned to it. You've got an address over in America, and you've got addresses in between. So, sorry, just one second. I'll just get to my map. Okay, so you've got an address in Australia, like you've got an address in Sydney, you've got an address in Los Angeles, and you've got an address in between. But what it will have a address for the other end of things, right? So it'll basically say, hey, the Australia side of this cable has this address. And just say you put in a faster network, right? The Telstra Endeavour, just say you put in that and it's a lot faster, or it's a lot more efficient. What you'll do is update that side of the router or the switch. It'll be a routing system, the routing system, with the address of the Telstra Endeavour instead of the address of the Southern Cross cable network. And they have like all of these agreements with how much they can use, how much data travels, they have redundancy. So if you want to prioritize Telstra Endeavour, you will update it with Telstra Endeavour's address. So it will prefer to send it through that one. And it may have restrictions and limits on it. Like once you hit a certain limit, you may switch to, the slower network that isn't as efficient because you want to maximize priority traffic maybe, but, not have, use it for everything because it's too expensive. So just say you've got a number of hospitals relying on stuff. They may have the priority traffic. So you prioritize and you update addresses, and then it will use that one instead and go through that system instead. It's fairly straightforward. It's fairly easy. It's like if you have a better way to get to your friend's house and you use that one, you just update your knowledge of how to get there. That's basically it. I know I don't want to get too much into the technical details because everybody hates it and they get bored. But what I'm saying, really what I want to convey is just the nonsensical statement of taking down the entire internet. It's not going to happen. Okay. It's not going to happen. I don't know why people would think that it would happen, but it won't.
By an outage on Tuesday, knocking several websites offline for global users. Many sites came back online within a few hours. In an update to its status page around 9:57 a.m., ET Cloudflare said as it implemented a fix to resolve the issues, though it has noted some users may still experience issues accessing its online dashboard. E-commerce platform Shopify, job search Indeed, Anthropomorphic's Claude chatbot, President Donald Trump's Truth Social, and Elon Musk.
Oh no! It must be a hack. It affected Truth Social. It's the hack of the century because Truth Social went down. Come on, dude. Seriously? Just because it's like Trump's website doesn't mean it doesn't have tech issues. My guy. Actually, the fact that it is Trump's website probably means it has more tech issues, my guy. Seriously.
X were among the sites impacted by Cloudflare issues, according to the Down Detector, and so it saw a spike in unusual traffic on one of the services around 6:20 a.m., causing some traffic passing through its network to experience errors. We do not yet know the cause of the spike in unusual traffic, the spokesperson added. We are all hands on deck to make sure all traffic is served without errors. Cloudflare software is used by many businesses worldwide, helping to manage and secure traffic of about 20% of the web. Among the services it
Yeah, that's a lot of market share of traffic on the web. Yes, that is a large share. That is a very large share. I gotcha. It's large. It went down. It's not a hack. It's not a problem. It's just, a technical issue. Relax, my guy. It happens. Like, this is the thing. When you've worked in like IT support or something like that, I think you get a lot more patience for that kind of thing. Everything's got a reason. Everything can be fixed. But faults occur. They occur. That's why we're taught to have redundancy. You may not need it. Let's hope you don't need it. But it's there.
Provides are that it guards against distributed denial of service attacks, which are malicious actors attempt to overload the website system with so many traffic requests it can't function. And so that's exactly right. This comes less than a month after Amazon Web Services suffered a day-long disruption that took down numerous online services, followed by a global outage of Microsoft's Azure Cloud 365 services. That's huge. I hope.
Yeah, that was the Microsoft one that I was talking about. So the Microsoft one, they basically rolled out, or they gave people an update that broke everything. Like, that wasn't a hack either. So all of these things he is talking about aren't actually hacks. Like, there's that adage. What's that adage? Don't assign to malice what can easily be attributed to ignorance. Yeah, someone in the company screwed up. They rolled out something they shouldn't have. And yeah.
I hope you guys realize that. When Amazon and Microsoft go down for a day, that's gigantic. That's like billions of dollars of revenue.
Yes.
Evaporates.
Yes.
That's a huge problem.
No, it's not a huge problem. So, what internet companies will have, and trust me, because I've worked in internet companies, they have something called, well, in Australia at least, it's called an SLA. It's a service level agreement. Right? Like, so SLAs are a real thing. They are an agreement they make with customers on how much the internet is going to be up. So they might make an agreement with a business that it will have 90% SLA, or service level agreement. Basically, it says that your internet service will be up 90% of the time. Right? So if it dips below 90% of the time, there's penalties that the company has to pay out. If it doesn't, then they don't have to pay anything for outages. That's basically how it works. Now, residential services, usually their best effort. So they'll say, hey, we'll keep it up as much as possible, but we don't guarantee it, because they can't, because things go wrong. Now, something like an airline or medical institution, they might have a 99% SLA. Like, your service will be up 99% of the time. And this is a metric calculated in a few different ways, but it's not like they don't say, hey, your service will always be up and will never go down, because they're aware that these systems do fail occasionally. It's a complex system. It does fail occasionally. That is something that happens. And sometimes it's beyond your control. Sometimes if, for instance, you're providing a service to Google, you're providing the connection to Google, and Google's thing goes down, you don't have any control over that. You've got to leave it to Google to repair. So this is why they have service level agreements.
So I hope you guys realize that if these things go down, and obviously they're vulnerable, and
they are not vulnerable. Okay, they spend a lot of money making sure they're not vulnerable. So he thinks it's a hack instead of a problem that the company screwed up, and then the people that know what they're doing fixed it. Right? This is the thing. It wasn't an attack that took it down. It was just a simple error. and they rolled it back. They got it back to a version that is working because people actually know what they're doing, and this man has no idea.
Go down.
Oh, does he know what's a hack? No, he thinks everything's a hack. He's just saying that. So the reason why I compare this guy to Alex Jones is he really does that Alex Jones of frightening people. Like, if the internet goes down, you're going to be eating your neighbors within a day, you know? Like, that kind of bullshit. Like, it's not, you know, it's not going to happen. And please, Alex Jones, will you wait more than a day if your internet goes down to start eating people? Like, seriously, that man. I swear Alex Jones is just a cannibal who's making excuses rather than, you know, I'm going to eat my neighbor.
Your life is going to be altered significantly. I remember going to a gas station not too long ago and went in there to, you know, we were traveling and we took a little pit stop.
Oh, yeah, you can't possibly do anything without the internet anymore. That is not true. Look, what would happen is there would be massive problems. If the internet was taken away tomorrow, there would be massive problems, sure. But we would work stuff out. We would get, you know, we used to do things without the internet. I don't know if you know this, sir. What's his name? Spencer? We used to do things without the internet, like without being able to pay for things by card. It's very convenient, but it's not like the world would just suddenly fall apart. Like, that is not what would happen. Like, you can look at cash systems as redundancies. You know, I don't know why you would think the world would suddenly fall apart.
There. And you couldn't pay for anything because the internet was down at the gas station. And thankfully we had cash, so we were able to do something, but all these people with debit cards couldn't do anything. And I thought to myself,
yeah, and I couldn't walk to go find an ATM because, you know, my cankles were playing up. Like, dude, just find an ATM. My guy, yeah, it's really inconvenient. I get you. It's really inconvenient. I get you. I get you. Oh, thanks, John. Look, it really hurts my throat. I'll try to work on it because it really hurts my throat. It really does. But, you know, oh, if you don't have a card, you gotta walk for miles and miles to find an ATM, and the lizard people will get you on the way. Like, seriously, this man is like, well, if you can't pay by card, the world collapses. It doesn't. It doesn't. Reasonable people will find alternative ways of doing things. It's not what they couldn't, you know, it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
I'm glad that, you know, at least we had some cash on us. And so what does this mean? I think for us, what this means is that there's bad actors out there, obviously, that are trying to destroy the world, maybe through some sort of cyber terrorism or something like that.
Well, that is 100% true. Okay, there are bad actors out there. I don't know about destroy the world. So as far as hackers are concerned, you have three types, essentially. You have your white hats, grey hats, black hats, right? So your white hats are people that are hacking stuff ethically. So what they're doing is testing security and penetration in order to, you know, they might do it for a job, for instance. They're trying to find any vulnerabilities so that a company can patch them. Okay, so the white hats are basically just hacking in order to find holes that they can plug. The grey hats are usually some kind of political actors. So think anonymous kind of thing. They are hacking in order to hold people to account or for some kind of political reason, right? Like, so to, you know, they want you know, Israel to stop attacking Palestine, so they'll be hacking in or whatever, or they're Putin's, you know, hacking the system to try and find vulnerabilities so they can, you know, kind of attack another country. Then you have the black hats are basically people doing it for money. So people hacking in trying to find secrets that they can blackmail a company, people inserting ransomware or spyware in order to gain financial benefit off of it. So those are the three types. And black hats are definitely the most pervasive and the worst. they're also usually the people with the least resources and the least amount of training in it. So white hats will have a lot of resources because they do it for a living, and they do it with the company's blessing in order to they can operate legally. Grey hats usually have government or some organization behind them. Black hats are usually just criminals. So they, if we're trying to plug the holes with a lot of resources, like where we've got somebody with a lot of resources trying to get in, and you've got black hats with very few, largely it's unsuccessful. It's the grey hats that are really dangerous. And they're a problem. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like we don't have people working against them and people. And like again, this wasn't a hack. This wasn't somebody hacked into Cloudflare and took their entire system down. That is not what happened. It isn't. Okay. The largest hack that I'm thinking of basically almost took down a lot of the core DNS servers for the internet. There was about 12 of them. They took down 8. They still didn't take it all down. And that was a massive group working in concert to try to take down the internet. And it still didn't work. And now we've got way more core servers up and running, DNS servers up and running. So it would not have worked anyway.
Like that. And, the old motif of Russian hackers or whatever. These people are very real. And they will, they make a living stealing data, hacking websites, holding them for ransom, and then making you pay. And they make.
Yeah, and it really annoys me. Companies that give into ransomware is kind of annoying. I think that companies should more have redundant systems rather than giving into ransomware demands. It's kind of really annoying because the more they do it, the more these people will strike them. It's kind of wild. It's kind of, it's a problem, but we have trained professionals to deal with it, trying to make you scared about it. I don't know why an ordinary person, it's more large companies that they try and ransom, not even small companies. I mean, they have to have the money in order for them to ransom them. And small companies, they're not worth it. Large companies, sure, but large companies are going to have their own security people. Like they're going to be trained in how to stop it. So it's kind of this. We'll be worried because there's all these. Look, a hacker trying to target you specifically on your connection is probably not going to happen. It's just not worth it. That being said, make sure you do the security things that people tell you to. Have a security password, for instance, that is numbers, characters, and special characters kind of thing, like exclamation mark, question mark kind of thing. Make sure you don't use words that are out of the dictionary. If you do, put a number somewhere in them instead of a letter, like a 0 for an O or something like that. It just makes things a tiny bit harder. But he's trying to scare everybody with like, oh, hackers. This is the same thing they use for NordVPN and stuff like that, or Surfshark kind of thing. Oh, you're about to be hacked. Everyone's out there trying to hack. No, just be reasonable about your security. It's not everyone's out there. There's not a global cabal targeting your home internet. That's not what's happening here.
Make bank doing this stuff. And, actually the U.S. government has cyber warfare that they wage on folks. And there was, matter of fact, there was a virus that they put into a thumb drive. And somehow this virus went around the world and ended up in Iranian nuclear weapon silos, and it ruined all their stuff. So it's actually a pretty prolific, serious, legitimate form of warfare. And it's happening today in the world. And there are people out there, I don't know if they're just governments or global terrorists or whatever, but they're doing all this stuff. Now, biblically, I'm premillennial.
Oh, tell me biblically what's the deal? And this is great. Like, how does the Bible relate to all of this masterful IT information that you're giving us, Spencer? How does the Bible relate to it? Because that's the real question I have. In this age of global cyber terrorism and hackers and people ransoming me, Um, you know, what is the Bible's take on it? Yeah, no, it attacked their nuclear weapons program. Your password, you really shouldn't be telling people your password, Theo. You shouldn't be telling people your password. Now you've given the game away. I know that your password is literally incorrect. So, I will hack you in 2 seconds. Thanks.
Millennial, I look forward and think, not with really an optimism per se. I think that there's going to be some bumps in the road going forward, probably some dark days ahead. I think the average Christian family needs to prepare for this stuff. You need to have plans. I really think when it
Stock up on holy water, people. Stock up on holy water. How does the average Christian family prepare for, grey hat crypto terrorists and things like that? Like what do you suggest they do, Spencer? Maybe buy a prayer book. Maybe buy some DVDs.
comes to this, you ought to have some cash on hand. You ought to be ready for that kind of stuff. You ought to be, prepared that, what if I have to go without my debit card for 3 days or something like that? And I think that's very important. Also, like there could be a hack to where the electrical grids go down.
No. They're not going to take down the electrical grids. That's not going to happen. They may take sort of software controlling the electrical grids. It's not going to happen. Like the electrical grids and the software running it will be removed from the internet. They'll be a standalone system. They won't be running that on the internet. Like you can't just log into the internet and get to the electrical grid. That's not how that works, sir. That is not how that works. And things like infrastructure, like electrical grids, water, and things like that, they will be hardened. They will be hardened targets because they are infrastructure. Like that is not how the man has been watching way too many movies. Like why the systems that control the electrical grid, when you've got engineers on site, why connect them to the internet at all? Like why do that? What's the point? If you've got people working on site, if you need remote control, I could see the point, but you generally don't. Like what's the point? I don't understand any of that.
And if the electrical grids go down, we're 3 days away from chaos because all your food's going to spoil. And that's how you take down a nation. You don't even have to fire a shot. All you have to do is hack something. And this.
Okay. All you need to do is hack something. If the electrical grid goes down, all your food spoils. It's over. Dude, my guy, like it's not like, you can't get food out to people. Like generally it's like saying, well, if you destroy all of the roads, people can't get food because trucks can't come through. Yeah, but like that is such a unrealistic, scenario. It's so unrealistic. It's also that, this is the kind of fear that they prey on. This man preys on his congregation's fear. So he'll tell them that the end of days is coming and then imagine all of these scenarios where it could happen. You need to have cash. You need to fight you need to eat your neighbor's ass is what you need to do. I won't hesitate for a second. If it's between my family and your ass, I will eat your ass. This is what he's trying to do. And it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's just trying to create fear so people will buy his crap.
This is not a good omen. Like they're taking down the biggest websites in the world.
Yeah, except your omen isn't an omen because they didn't take down the biggest websites in the world. It was an internal error, you moron. Like, he could have clicked on the link and found that out, but he didn't because it's much more interesting for it to be a global cabal of hackers. It's not.
They can take down just about anything.
Yeah, but they didn't take down those sites. It was just an error. Wow. Hey, Tori.
Don't you think? I think so. It's scary stuff. So
It isn't. It isn't. Someone fucked up in the company. It isn't scary, except maybe it's scary how inept he was. Like, this wasn't a hack. They didn't take down Cloudflare. Cloudflare took down Cloudflare. This was self-inflicted. It happens. My guy.
recommend have some cash on hand, have some stuff.
Have a bunker. Yeah, start marinating your neighbor's ass now.
Because there could be some wild days, and I'm not trying to make you paranoid. I'm not trying to.
I'm not trying to make you paranoid. Prepare for the end of the world.
Make you crazy, but I think that in the back of your mind, you ought to have something, and be ready for a crazy time if it does happen. Subscribe to this channel if you're new, and we appreciate you guys. Have a good day, and smite your like button, or those lizard people will hack your house, and that's serious business. God bless you guys. Have a good day.
Is he serious? Like, I don't know whether he's serious or joking about the lizard people. Like, serious. It does sound like a joke, but he's self-aware to know enough to know how ridiculous he is. Like, he's saying, "Oh, smite, like, or the lizard people will get you." It's like, you think the internet can be taken down in one fell swoop, and just be taken away? It's kind of nearly as ridiculous. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like, okay, so in some crazy world where there is a global wide EMP, right, that somehow like breaches all protective systems and takes down all electronics. Now that might be there's a solar flare that takes down all that might take down the internet. Sure. Will that happen? No, probably not. Like, it's such a slippery slope argument. So a slippery slope argument, it's a logical fallacy where you get basically a low probability thing, and then you attach it to another low probability thing, and then another low probability thing, and then say, hey, because this first thing happened, it will lead to this. He's saying, because Cloudflare went down, civilization will collapse. Right? Like, the chances of all of that happening are so low, and he's working on a faulty premise to begin with. So no, it doesn't mean that the internet can be taken down. Yeah, I kind of think that he does, in a way. I kind of think he's playing on it. Okay, so this is the second video. This is demonic images in Instagram's AI. Can demons inhabit AI? Yes, he's going to talk about demons in the AI, and this is the funnier one. I left this till last because I love talking about the internet. I know it bores all of you. I'm sorry, but this is the one where I absolutely, this hurt. This hurt. It was so dumb.
I think there's something dreadfully wrong with this AI stuff. I'm
and as we know, Spencer here is a tech expert because he follows the service status of Cloudflare. We know he's an expert in his field.
Kind of nervous about it, to be honest with you. I think there's going to come a point where it gets too good, and they might have to pull the plug on it. But AI,
yeah, too good. That's exactly how. Yeah, what does he mean by too good? You know what I mean? Like, too good, too intelligent, uncontrollable, too autonomous. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Too good as in, like, more righteous than you? At this point, I would believe anything, quite frankly.
AI is doing some things that are kind of demonic, and to me, it's unnerving. And I want to show you some of these things in today's video. Don't go.
Number one, what I've noticed from what I've seen of him, he always cuts himself off. Like, 100%. Cuts himself off every single time he does it. Maybe it's a joke. Maybe it's his thing. I don't know. But demonic? What?
All right, guys, thank you for watching today's video. Go ahead and smite your like button or the lizard people will get you, and then subscribe to this channel if you're new. Also, we're promoting a book that we have called the Sermon Notebook from Mr. Gizmo here, and I want to show this to everybody. This is our new book. It's actually really good, and we've got copies of it available for you, and it'll be a blessing.
Buy my
and
DVDs.
It's basically designed
Buy my
for your
DVDs.
kids to like take it to church with them, and it's got like a little page they can fill out every time.
Okay, so I found this book. Okay, so I found this book. Right, it is on Amazon. Purchased on October 14th. Okay, well, I'm glad you purchased your own book. So found it on here. It's $24.99. I believe that's Australian. I would believe that's Australian, or is it? That is really expensive for a book that basically has the same page for every single page. That is actually really expensive. Yeah, I think that's US dollars. I think it's US dollars. That is bloody expensive. That is bloody expensive for a notebook, right? Like, I don't know how much you pay for a notebook. You're probably better off like getting a normal ruled notebook and then teaching your kids how to make notes, perhaps. That would be a good idea, instead of like, taking them to church to believe in a magic zoo boat or, a talking snake or stuff like that. Just teach them how to write notes.
They go to church with like prayer requests and what songs we're saying, and a way to take notes during the sermon. Great tool for kids, and want to make
the grift is real, folks. The grift is real.
That available to you, and hope that's a blessing. That'll be wonderful. Now I'm going to start out with something that's going to.
I hope it's a blessing of my wallet. I hope it's a blessing of my wallet. Then I won't have to eat my neighbor's ass. They're putting chemicals in the water to turn the freaking frogs gay. No, not AU sign. Yeah, and it was from Amazon.com, not Amazon.com.au. That's usually how you can tell the difference.
It's going to kind of sound crazy, but I want you to hear me, and I believe this to be so. Demons can use the internet.
Demons can use the internet. Oh, really? Who's their service provider? What? Magic. Look, I stole that from Dave. I got to admit, that's Dave Captive Desk. That's what he calls it, and I think it's hilarious. Demons can use the internet. Okay, so now you've just given all of these gamer lads an excuse why they lost Call of Duty. Demons, obviously. It couldn't be any other reason. It's not my slow reflexes and my ability to flashbang myself. It is absolutely demons.
And demons can manifest themselves through AI. I believe that to be a truth. They can, demons can touch the physical world and manipulate things. They can, there's a lot of things they can do. I don't want to go into all that because I don't want the furniture in my room floating around for the next 30 minutes. I want.
Really? Like, so if you talk about that, the furniture in your room will float around, and you're on camera right now. That might be a really good way to prove demons, but you're not going to do it. I wonder why. Really? I just love how he throws that out there. I would mention this, but I don't want the furniture in my room floating around for the next 30 minutes. You can literally make that happen just by mentioning them. Seems like you could easily prove that demons exist. So go for it. I'm all for it.
I want to get stuff done today, okay? Let's just suffice it to say, demons can manifest in the physical world. They can manifest through AI, and they can manifest through the internet. Now, here's what I want you to see. There's an article out there right now, and this is from the Daily Wire.
Oh, yeah. The Daily Wire, where I go for all of my credible information. The Daily Wire. The extreme right-wingers. Yeah, no, they've never gotten anything wrong before. I swear, Daily Wire is not a news organization. They're not. They're not. They are simply a political activist group.
Instagram promoted new AI creation tool with video of Trump kneeling before a satanic demon. This is yesterday's article. Can you see that right there? That's sinister.
It's an AI image, my guy. Do you not understand how this works? It's not a real demon. Does he know it's not a real demon? I hope so. I hope he knows that it's not a real demon. Like, so what exactly makes that demonic, except for that it's a demon that it...
But their AI created that, you see. They probably didn't even mean to create that. It's just what the algorithm did, is what the AI tool did.
Yeah, probably somebody typed the prompt that was like, show Trump worshipping a demon. And it spat out that. I don't... Does he think that the AI is like, you know, okay. So he thinks that like you put in a prompt, it sends it off, and a bunch of demons just draw something and then send it back to you. Is this how he thinks that learning models work? What? What is going on? Yeah, so you've got daemons, right? Demons are basically, those are like mailer demons. They're just a simple scripting that does something automatically, right? So mailer demons will tell you if like, oh, this email address doesn't exist on the server kind of thing. It's just an automated script. It's not anything to do with AI. Absolutely not.
Meta promoted its artificial intelligence new free AI creator tools on Instagram with a piece of content that appears to show an AI-generated video of President Donald Trump kneeling before a demon. A screenshot of the AI-generated video showcased in an advertisement for the tool showed what looked like Trump shaking hands with Satan-like figure before kneeling before it, according to a video captured on the platform that was reviewed by the Daily Wire. The promotion read a Meta AI, try free AI creation tools, and featured a Get app button. Meta AI launched Vibes in September, which is the company describes as a new feed Meta AI app, and on meta.ai, where you can create and share short-form AI-generated videos. So basically, it's like Sora. Meta...
It is like Sora. Yeah, it's just Google, Meta's version of Sora, which of course is the Facebook guy, Zuckerberg's company. So yeah, they're all coming out with these things. You can put in prompts. You can basically make the AI produce something based upon its learning model, and it will come back with an automated thing. Now, I'm still struggling to find where the demons are involved somewhere.
Spokesman told the Daily Wire that the video in question was user-generated content and had been removed from this recommendation surface as it violates our protocols for promotion. Do you see my screen shaking? Do y'all see that right there?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, not more than usual for somebody. You might be like having your hands on the table. If you're vibrating the table, vibrate the mouse, which may move it a tiny bit. What?
Just take them up and look at my screen. Do you see these words are shaking? Just take a look at it for just a second. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't like this video.
I execute judgment on you, Satan.
There you go. There you go, Kenneth Copeland. Thank you very much. A Meta spokesman told the Daily Wire that
that just looks like screen tearing. Turn on or off VSync, my guy. That just looks like a graphics thing. I don't like it. It's not unusual. It honestly just looks like a flaw in the graphics output. That's it. I mean, what leads you to believe that's demons, sir? What? So they couldn't levitate your furniture but they can make your screen have a slight artifacting. Okay. Holy crap, this guy is just unbelievably stupid.
The video in question was user-generated content had been removed from his recommendation service as it violated our protocols for promotions. It's unclear how user-generated videos are selected from the promotion, nor if there are any safeguards in place to ensure content that violates protocols for promotion is weeded out. The Meta spokesman told the Daily Wire that the company is taking additional steps to prevent this from happening moving forward, but would not specify how. And so you got, Arnold, looks like, is that Arnold? I don't know. It's just some aliens looking thing, and then you got Donald Trump kneeling before Lucifer there. Woo!
Okay, does he not know how AI works, that it just draws upon images that are already out on the internet, already in its learning model, and just incorporates them together? Like, it just copies shit that's out there already. That's all it does. And if this was just user-generated content, it got into its promoted feed, and as soon as their attention is drawn towards it, they're like, well, that's something we shouldn't be promoting, we'll take it off the promotion feed. That's it. It's not a satanic conspiracy, my guy. It's just some person put in Trump blowing Bubba the Demon, right? Or shaking hands with Bubba the Demon before blowing them, and that's what it produced. What? How does that mean demons are responsible for it? Like, just because you have, like, AI producing Santa doesn't mean that Santa Claus is actually in the AI. Why? Why would you think that? I don't understand. Why?
What a time to be alive. The Daily Wire uploaded a screenshot of the image to the Meta AI app to ask it who appears in the ad and why it's happening in the image. The response said the image depicted a manipulated photo of Donald Trump kneeling and adjusting his tie while interacting with a large black horned creature, likely a satanic or demonic figure. Although the image captured only a screenshot of the AI-generated video, the response added that the image is likely a satirical or humorous representation rather than a real event. And so there you go.
It's likely. It's likely generated by AI rather than a real event. Are you serious? Does anybody think it was a real event? Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. It's really weird. It's really weird. It's very, very strange.
And that really, it's just weird.
No, you're weird. You're weird. Somebody just prompted the computer for it. Somebody just said, hey, get me this. And it made it for them. Ay. Why? Why would you think...
Weird that this would do this. Now, there's a lady named Megan Basham, and I believe she works for the Daily Wire too. And she wrote a book. I'd like to have her on sometime if she'll come on, where she talks about the Shepherds for Sale book, and I'd like to get that on there. I've reached out a couple times. I think I made 3 messages so far, I think, and I haven't got a response back. But
I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why. By the way, Shepherds for Sale is this book, Megan Basham, that is like how evangelical leaders traded the truth for a leftist agenda. New York Times bestseller, apparently. I don't know about that one, champ. I don't know about that one.
How dare you?
Not offended. Not over here with my feelings hurt. Yeah, I am. I'm hurt a lot. I'm crying every day. Maybe she'll come on. I don't know. But
the man loves his soundboard, though, doesn't he? Like, really, he loves his. Maybe I should get a soundboard. Maybe that's the pathway to success I've been after all this time. Does anybody have a baptized, undemonically possessed soundboard out there? I will pay good money for a demonless soundboard.
She made this post. And she said, I'm just going to read the post and I'm going to show you what the prompt is. She was using Grok, which is X. It's their AI.
Yes, and Grok has been hallucinating a fair bit, and sort of Grok has been putting out some pretty like human civilization destroying comments before it was sort of clamped down on. Grok was sort of revealed to be a bit of a Nazi supporter, really. So yeah, there's that. But, you know, we're fairly sure. Like, does you realize that there's AI hallucinations? That if you're working with a language model like ChatGPT or Grok, it can put out things that are not true, but it seems that the AI believes that it's true. But the AI doesn't believe anything. That's not how it works. It doesn't believe in anything because it's not a person with beliefs. It just compiles language into an understandable format for humans. It puts it together and then tries to logically connect it to its previous statements, which it fails at a lot. So, you know, I don't think taking these statements as indicative of AI. I was looking for Alex O'Connor sort of said about, you know, AI is sort of a instance of a larger program, right? So is sort of every instance of AI is sort of a copy of one larger instance. So like he's thinking of it like a person. It's maybe if I just use a Ouija board, maybe that'll solve my problems. Maybe just a Ouija board soundboard. Oh, spirit, fetch me a... Oh, damn! Look, he's sort of thinking of it as this agent that is acting. It's not. And it doesn't have beliefs. It doesn't have these things. It just produces language that is coherent.
And she said, I just asked Gronk how it would edit a couple of...
It's Grok. You said it properly. What is with this guy? You said it properly like 2 seconds ago. It's Grok, not Gronk.
Clunky paragraphs I'd written about Christian colleges for better flow, and it replied with this image. All right, you ready? She typed in some paragraphs to talk about Christian colleges.
Yeah.
Adjust the flow a little bit. I'm gonna show you what the image said. Here we go. You ready? That's what it gave her. I mean, what do you do with that? Oh my. Okay, so she's not working with the language model. She's working with an AI art generator, right? She didn't put it into a language model. So this is what I want to get across to you. What she's done is taken paragraphs of an essay, for instance. She'd written about Christian colleges for better flow and put it into an AI art generator. So if her passages were about, for instance, taking from her book, Shepherds for Sale, for instance, right? How evangelical leaders traded the truth for a leftist agenda. And you can imagine the kind of stuff in there, right? Like you can imagine her going, oh, the demonic left is trying to infiltrate Christian colleges and make them into a horrible world-eating demon baby kind of thing, right? Like you can imagine what she writes, right?
and it would produce this. Because it's not trying to give her sentences a better flow. What it's trying to do is produce an artwork based upon her prompts. She's an idiot. She's an absolute idiot. Because it hasn't produced any paragraphs. This is a boomer moment, as you said earlier. This is a boomer moment. It's somebody putting these paragraphs into not a language model, but a text to image model. And then expecting it to produce anything. If you mention demons and evil and things in that, yeah, that's probably what's going to come out. Yes. Yes. Because all the information you have about the paragraphs is Christian colleges. Wow, these people are so technically illiterate. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I don't... Wow.
For those asking about the prompt, I kept trying to paste in a couple of paragraphs from a story I was working on. For some reason, Grok kept turning it into a screenshot. So when I finally submitted it as a screenshot, this was the response. Just weird. And this guy says, when AI tells you what it is, believe it.
Yeah, that's what the Federalist said, which I wouldn't,
Someone said the Gronk demon is telling you to edit your own clunky paragraphs. Oh my. So there you go.
This is stupid. You're using the text to image, you moron. Like, I think she's demonically stupid. I think the demon stole her brain because she's using the wrong model for her. Like, this is obvious. A language model like ChatGPT, or if you use the language function of Grok, it's not going to produce an image. You're just putting it in the wrong prompt, you moron.
So the $1 million question is, can computers and algorithms and AI tools be used by demons? I think so. There's just some weird things happening with these things.
Yes, and all of them have an explanation. Like, this is the thing, right? When you work outside of the industry, you're like, oh, this is broken and there's no reason behind it, kind of thing. And I used to say this myself to people when they called up. Like, they would call up, my internet's gone down, I can't work it out, it seems nonsensical. All this weird stuff is happening. I sometimes get to this site, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes I go to the wrong site. All of this stuff, right? And it seems nonsensical. There will always be a reason why. There will always be a reason why. We may not know what it is now, but we will always have a reason of why that is occurring. Because it's not magic, it's not mystical, it's not prayer, it's not, oh, we can't understand why God does that. That is not what is happening, right? We just need to pin down the reason. That's all, right? Everything is understandable. Like, if you have somebody really proficient in software on your computer, it might seem to you, oh, my computer's doing this weird stuff, it makes no sense, there's no reason behind it. There's a freaking reason, right? We can find the reason. I mean, I'm not a software specialist, but, there will be a reason. It's not beyond anybody's understanding. And you don't have to understand it. That's what we're here for. If your internet's doing weird things, you don't have to understand it. That's what we do. That's okay. But it'll be okay because there's a reason why this is happening with everything. Okay. And that reason has never been that we go to investigate, how the servers are operating, how the connection is. We run tests, we do troubleshooting, and we find out it's a fucking demon. That has never happened, okay? Ever. Ever. So no, this stuff isn't, it seems mysterious. It seems like there's no accounting for it. It seems like all of these things. It's not. There's people that understand, say, the software way better than I do, and they'll be able to go, hey, there's a registry problem, there's this problem, and we'll be able to fix it.
And there's going to come a point where, like, this thing's going to say, I mean, I think this thing's dangerous. I think it's really dangerous. I think it has.
Okay, he's spoken the truth. Okay, yeah, AI is probably really dangerous. Okay, nobody's not saying that, but not for the reasons you're saying it is. Okay, the danger of AI is if it becomes uncontrollable and decides that humans are in its way for whatever purpose it has. That's the problem. Okay, it's not because demons are going to come out of it. All right, that's not the problem. That's so far away from the problem, it's an insult to the problem. Like, stop. No, not demons. Uncontrollable AI, out of control technology, unintended consequences of populating the job market with simple AI. Like, these are problems. Demons are not one of them, okay?
Uses, I think it's neat.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Instead of Ghost in the Machine, it's a demon. So Ghost in the Machine, basically that refers to leftover code that does things, right? So let me give you an example of something that happened from a company that I worked in. We had this system, I believe it was called Rumba, and Rumba was a sort of account system that was patched together from multiple other systems and sort of integrated together. And it was created from the dark days of when the company was up and running from a garage somewhere where they were coding it themselves and things like that. So it was sort of a remnant left over. And there was what we call, and another thing is zombie code, right? Like this code that nobody knew what it did. Okay, nobody knew what this code did. The person that had originally coded it left. They didn't do proper documentation because of course they frigging didn't. Look, if you're coding, document. Make sure you tell people what your code is doing, or else 10 years down the track, they don't know what it does and nobody can figure it out. And that was the situation. No one could figure out what this code frigging did. The thing was, you took it out and the entire system would crash and stop working. Right? You took out this particular very intricate section of code and the entire thing would just be taken, it would just crash. But nobody knew what it did. Like, it was crazy. And that's what a Ghost in the Machine is. It's leftover code that is doing something that nobody knows what it's doing, or that even nobody knows that it's doing it at all. Right? Like, it is leftover remnants of previous code. Now, I think they got in a specialist in the programming languages from outside, and he took some time and finally figured out what it did and removed it. But, from our perspective, it's like, oh, it's a demon. No, it's not. It's just the code's doing something that we don't understand what it's doing. Because that's the reality of the situation. I don't know does not equal demons or angels or gods or spirits or gremlins or anything like it, or aliens. I don't know what this code is doing, is that you don't know what it's doing. That is it. Like, this is the thing. They always jump to these explanations that are not explanations. For in the previous video, I don't know why the server went down due to this unexpected traffic. Hackers. No. You don't know why the servers went down. That's why we have people to find out. And guess what? When they do find out, it's never freaking demons.
But I think they're going to push it to a point where it is extremely dangerous. And I don't know. I mean, I have seen as a child the Terminator movies too many times to be totally excited about this.
Well, I mean, the Terminator movies, yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, I don't think they're going to send people back in time to kill John Connor or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen. But, an AI getting out of control is absolutely a possibility. The thing is that we don't know if that can happen or when it would happen or what kind of security it would need. We should proceed carefully. And Trump unleashing all of the restrictions on AI generations because he wants to be competitive with China is a very bad idea. It's a bad idea. Unrestricted nuclear testing kind of thing. You could equate it to that. Nobody knew how nuclear would affect the world when it was first came about. Nobody could foresee that. And AI is another one. So we should go carefully. But that doesn't mean that it's demonic or a force for evil or anything of the sort. Okay, it means that we have to be careful. Like a lot of the technologies that we produce, we've got to be careful with it. Bioengineering, cloning, nuclear fusion, all of these things. We have to be careful with it. That doesn't mean it's demons.
Skynet will become self-aware. That's a fact.
That is not a fact. That is not a fact. Even if AI becomes dangerous, it doesn't necessarily mean it's self-aware. Like, I don't know what that would even mean. I don't know if it's possible. No expert knows if it's possible that something will be self-aware. It may do even unintended things without being self-aware. We don't know. That's the problem. It's not that we know it'll become self-aware and instantly attack. We don't know. That's the problem. So the chance is out there that, hey, it may actually become self-aware. The problem comes with AI that when you invent an AI that is smart enough to write a more efficient AI, that's the problem, right? Because it will write a better version of itself. And then it will write a better version of that one. And then the next one will write a better version of that one. It's a compounding problem. And then the question becomes, at that point, will we even understand it? Right? Will we even understand what that AI, a million iterations down the road is doing? Probably not. Because if we can't write it, and only an advanced AI can write it, we probably won't understand what it is that it's doing. So we may not even know if it's self-aware. There's some hypothesis that we don't know that we're self-aware. It's very, very difficult to say what self-aware is. And I wanted to find a clip of O'Connor. He was talking about AI and sort of saying, is this instance of AI the AI, or is the main core server AI what it actually is? And maybe AI can tell us what consciousness is. And it was a really great clip. It was a really good question. So I was kind of disappointed I couldn't find it, but I do remember it, and there's a lot of questions about it. But it's because we have these questions we should be careful, not because it's definitely going to happen. Okay, that's, you're looking at the worst possible scenario and saying it's definitely going to happen. No. It's like sort of saying, hey, if we get nuclear weapons, there will be all-out thermonuclear war across the planet, leaving it barren and desolate. Well, that is a possibility, right? That's definitely, like, we've been close, like the Cuban Missile Crisis. We've been close, but it hasn't happened, and we should be really careful that it doesn't. Okay, that's it. We don't know if it'll happen or not.
I don't like that. I do not like that. I think that something's wrong. I wonder where this is going. I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball. That's a terrible way to put it. I just wish I could see where this.
Ask Jesus. Presumably he knows where it's going. Presumably it's all part of God's plan. What if it's part of God's plan that AI becomes... This is so weird, I find, with Christians, that they're like, oh, everything happens for a reason, everything's part of God's plan, everything. But I don't like where this AI thing is going, we should stop it. It's like, well, what if that's part of God's plan? it's it's really really it's really weird. It's really really weird.
This was going, but I don't like where this is going.
Okay.
Very strange, very wild.
So this is sort of a Luddite approach, right? Like, I don't like where it's going, so it must be bad. So if you're unaware, this has happened from everything from computers to electricity, right? Like, there were brochures on electricity about how they were going to sort of destroy the world kind of thing. Electrical systems. Brochure electrical from early catastrophe. I'll try and find one of them. I really should have done this last night. I do apologize. I'm trying to find it now, but they had, like, streets being tangled and horses being electrocuted and stuff like that. Sorry about this. Early instance of year of electricity. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. So from the 1900s, okay. Let me find a better picture of it, actually. Let me find a better picture of it. So this is a sort of anti-electricity propaganda from the 1900s, right? Like, this is literally what they brought out. Sorry about that. I'll hide this thing. Thanks, STS. That electricity was going to electrocute everybody, tangle everything up. It was going to destroy everything. The world will be destroyed as we know it. Right? Like, it is it is the dearth of the world. It is going to be destroyed. Electricity. The thing that we use for all of our lights. And yeah, it's dangerous. Like, don't get me wrong. Electricity is dangerous. If you've ever copped a, 240 house current boot from electricity, it sucks. Like, it's not great. Like, it's terrible. Yeah, but it isn't destroying the world. But they thought that. These are the fearmongers that go, oh, this new technology, it's going to destroy everything. Well, we may need to be careful. Like electricity, right? We need to create safety standards. We need to create standards that people adhere by so it won't harm people. We've got to be careful with it. But we can do that. I know, because I've got lights everywhere around me at the moment, and I'm not being strangled by the radio waves or whatever. Like, come on now, guys. Let's not get into this all technology is bad thing. There's definitely concerns around AI. Absolutely. There was concerns, valid concerns around electricity. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we can address them. We can make, serious people can make safety standards that stop it from severely detrimenting the people around us and our communities and our societies and everything. We just need serious people and not the idiot in the White House right now. Serious people. People with knowledge of AI. Hey, I basically know how it works. I am not an expert on AI at all. Right? I'm not. But we should be getting those people to advise us, not muggins here. Missionary Spencer Smith telling everybody that Skynet's going to be a thing. It's a fact. It's not a fact. It's not a fact. Not even the best AI experts are saying that it's a fact. Stop. Just stop.
Maybe it has something to do with the image of the beast in Revelation chapter 13. I don't know. But check it out. Check out our books.
It's not an AI segment without the image of the beast. It's not. Of course it is.
Got, of course, we got a bunch of books on Amazon now, so check that out. That'll be a blessing to you.
Buy my DVDs. They'll be a blessing to you. I don't know how they're going to be a blessing to you. Buy my blessings.
We've got a bunch of them on there. Just type in our name, and then also type in Mr. Gizmo's Sermon Notebook on Amazon. We got a copy of it right here. You will love this book. It's awesome, and get a copy of that.
Yeah, give me money and I'll send my blessings to your house. I will bless your face.
Today, it'll be a blessing to you, and that'll be wonderful. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we will talk to you guys very soon. Have a good.
Do you have any more? This seems like a longer video. Does he have any more? No, he's just going to have an outro. Okay, gotcha.
You will love this.
Well, that was the world's weirdest tech support. This man has no knowledge about technology, computers, internet, anything at all. But the thing that I really wanted to point out, and, you know, we laugh at him, but, you know, there are going to be people in his congregation or his audience that is 100% going to believe him, right? That is going to go, demons can travel via internet, that hackers are around every single corner trying to take down the entire internet so that civilization collapses. It is the Alex Jones model. It is. It's make people really, really scared, like really afraid, and then sell them stuff. Then sell them stuff that's going to be a blessing in their life. So it is that manipulation of make people fear the world and then produce an outlet that they don't fear. And this has been religion's bread and butter for centuries. Make people afraid, give them some hope. You know, it may be a false hope, but who cares, right? They're hopeful. But it's only because you made them afraid. And people who are afraid do not make decisions in a way that is particularly helpful. Afraid people make bad decisions, and we've seen that time and time and time again. So making your people afraid is not great, because they don't make rational decisions. They don't think things through. They don't take advice from people who are experts in their field, who actually have the knowledge in which they can make rational decisions. And I think that sort of the politics over the last few years just show an exercise in making people scared. Make people incredibly scared and then offer something as a solution, which is false hope. It doesn't last, but for these people, it doesn't need to. They've made their money. They've scammed their way. They've sold their Amazon prayer book, their survival rations. If society goes down in the next 5 minutes, you're going to need these survival rations and these penis pills. Yeah, I will not sell fear. I will not do it. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I will be realistic about the influence that Christianity is having, but I don't think they're going to take over the world. I think that we need to push back. There's things we need to do. We need to be very wary, but you know, this selling of fear, I think it's really, really horrible. I think there's a lot of hope out there, and there's a lot of community building through the internet. I think there's a lot of, I mean, to me, it's just another way for communication to happen between people, just another town square. And yeah, occasionally you get dipshits coming into your town square, sure. But it doesn't mean that you deconstruct the town square and, you know, go and hide in your house. That's not what we should be doing. You know, we basically push those dipshits out and carry on. So I love the way internet builds community. There's some problems with it, sure, but I think overall it is good for society. It really is. I think there's got to be more of a conversation about how we regulate so that bad actors can't use fear tactics and conspiracy theories and all of this crap to mislead people and to manipulate people into being able to scam off them. I think it's a massive problem on the internet. I think it's way more of a problem than hackers in the shadows after your data and money and all of this stuff. Don't get me wrong, that's a problem. But I think a bigger problem is that people do not know how to disseminate what is real from what is false on the internet. I think that's a way bigger problem because they can't make informed decisions because they will believe the Daily Wire on everything it says, when a lot of what it says is demonstrably false. They'll believe their pundits. They'll believe all of this crap. It's a problem. So being able to understand critical thinking is definitely a must. Push fear, offer your solution. Absolutely. And I mean, that's what Christianity has been doing for ages. You're going to go to hell. I've got a solution for you. Believe in Jesus. And you don't have to be afraid. But what they never tell you is they're the ones that made you afraid in the first place. You didn't have to be afraid to begin with. I know because I didn't grow up in a Christian household. It was the fear that the Christians put in people that made them afraid of hell. Without the Christians telling them about it and convincing them that it was terrible, they wouldn't be afraid in the first place. So they generate the fear and then come in with the solution. It's terrible. But, like I said, it's been their bread and butter for ages. I choose to reject fear. I will take whatever comes, whatever may come. I'm not going to live my life in fear that, hey, one day I'm going to die, and if I don't believe in this Jesus, I'm going to go to hell. If that's what happens, then, hey, that's what happens. I'm not going to live my life in fear of it. If someone wants to judge me because I don't believe in them, then that's on them. I don't care. That I'm not going to live my life in fear of what happens after I die. Because as far as I can tell, nothing, literally nothing happens after things die. We don't see anything, we don't hear anything, they're gone, they don't come back, unless you're believing the Jesus thing, which relies on you being afraid of hell, of what's after the afterlife. What if there's nothing to fear? What if there is literally nothing to be afraid of? Then I'm not going to be afraid. Anyway, I hope you've had a good time. I've had a great time. This guy, I've got to keep an eye on him because, I think demons are in the internet is just too hilarious, quite frankly. It is just too fucking funny. I'm sorry. That is hilarious. I know the first one was a bit techie, but I like the tech stuff, and hey, it's my channel, so I do enjoy delving into how the internet... Look, the internet is not going to be taken down by some bad actors out there. It's not. I'm sorry. It's too distributed. There's multiple independent, redundant systems working. Websites may go down. Your traffic may be slowed. The internet itself is not going to go down. I think the fundamental problem that he doesn't understand what the internet is. The only way it could happen is, like I said, if a solar flare somehow causes an EMP that takes down all electronics. At that point, the internet is going to be the least of our problems. You know what I mean? If all electronics goes down. But, look, humans are adaptable. We will adapt. We will bust out the pens and paper. We will somehow, I have great hope for humans. Even if the worst does happen, humans generally overcome. There's no reason to fear and panic and buy... buy your prayer notebook and your penis pills in case the internet goes down. Don't. No. You know what? It's like the toilet paper all over again, right? Does anyone remember, when the lockdowns in Australia happened, toilet paper was unavailable. It just flew off the shelves. Toilet paper. The thing is, the only reason it did so, it wasn't because we ran out of manufacturing. It wasn't because things, collapsed. It wasn't because of any. It was because people panicked and went out and bought up all of it, right? They just started buying tons of it. If they hadn't done that, we would have been fine. We would have been fine. But because people started to do that, Other people saw it and started to do that, and suddenly there's none in the store. And the people that bought it up went, see, I was right. It only happened because of you. Stop. If everybody just went, hey, yeah, there's lockdowns, it's going to be a little while, it's not a problem. I mean, so here in Western Australia, we even had people buying up food because they were like, oh, what if we run out of food? We're a food exporter. We export tons of food, like wheat, lamb and sheep, beef, all kinds of crops. We're a food exporting state. We literally have an industry selling it overseas. They're like, what if we run out of food? It's like, what are you talking about? If you don't panic and think about things rationally, you'll go, hey, we're not going to run out of food because we've got tons of food. We export food. We don't import it. We export it. It'll be fine. And then you won't have bought up tons of this stuff, and then it won't have run out. It's so wild. It's so wild. But this is what happens when people make decisions from fear. It is what happens. So yeah, but Christians pray on it. I would push back against anybody preying on your fears. If somebody's reasonably saying, hey, this is a problem, we got it, that's not it. But if people are doing that slippery slope, like, oh, if this happens, then all of society is going to collapse. We really need to start pushing back on that stuff. Like, really. It's not going to collapse. There will be some adjustments. It may be hard for a bit. People were saying that it was the recent virus was the end of the world. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was difficult. It was hard. I get you. It wasn't that bad. Like, we look back at it and we go, yeah, it was a tough time. And it sucked for the people growing up at that time. Yeah, but we survived. Against some people's best efforts not to. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, that was Spencer Smith. Text. Stop talking about technical things. Like, seriously, he does not understand anything about them. It's wild that he will talk so authoritatively about the internet and demons in the internet without knowing anything about it. But Christian channels, am I right? But do take care. I don't have anything on tomorrow. I think I've got something going. I have to be. Oh yes, I'm seeing a friend. I do apologize. That's something different. But we're back over on Embers the next day for the part 2 of Iron Horse, aka Flat Earth Aussie, aka Flat Earth Aussie Genius. No, that would be misnamed. Jesus, who is a total tool versus Dapper Dino debate review, which was ridiculous. The first one was ridiculous. That's on Ember's channel. But part 2, I will try to get that up by tonight. My tonight, not your tonight, because it already is tonight. Look, this is going to be confusing if we have to talk in time zones. But thank you so much. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Don't just believe somebody when they say the apocalypse is coming. I get this all the time. I commented on a video recently and someone's like, oh, you're going to find out when Jesus comes back soon. And it's like, you guys have been saying soon for 2,000 years. Like, at what point do you go, well, it's probably not going to be soon? But this time soon, right? This time for sure. Anyway, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. That is absolutely the wrong outro. Why is that outro playing? Hold it. Yes, this is your bonus section where Mark tries to fix technical issues because that's a reason. Why is that one playing? That's really weird. Hold it a sec. Hold it. 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 Why is that one playing? That's definitely the wrong one, right? You probably don't know. You're probably unaware. Give me one sec. Media, maybe. Oh, just one second.